Welcome back, and we're here for another great episode of Go Vote Annapolis. I'm your host, Carmel Brown, and this is in partnership with Action Annapolis. We're here in the great Ward 3, and we have another great incumbent with us who has a great history with the city. And we're here with Miss Alderwoman Rhonda Pendell-Charles. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Carmel. It's great to be here.
And we're at one of your great locations here in Parole. Can you describe what this location means to you and where we are exactly?
Well, Walt S. Mills Parole Elementary School means everything to us here in Parole. Mr. Mills was iconic, and he had been here a long time and was the principal for 47 years. So he didn't call it Parole Elementary, he called it Parole University. So I say no more.
I'm a candidate of, not a candidate, a student of Parole University. So
Absolutely.
I definitely can attest to that. Just to start off, can you tell us a bit about your background and what Annapolis means to you?
Well, Annapolis means everything to me. I've been here, be 67 years in August. My family's been here and a presence here since the Civil War. So we've been here quite a long time. But I really love being here, and we have our challenges, but it's home, and that's what we do. We take care of each other.
Can you describe your history with the city, how long you've lived here, and what political activities and social organizations you've been a part of?
I've been a part of this fabric of Annapolis and Parole all of my life. I've done quite a lot of community outreach and that sort of thing, basically through the Parole Health Center, through the Walt S. Mills Parole Elementary School Alumni Association, Mount Olive AME Church, St. Philip's Church. So I've pretty much touched a lot of what's going on here in Annapolis and in Parole. I've been on a lot of boards and commissions for the city, for the state, so I've done quite a bit.
So with such a vast and deep background, what do you feel like is your greatest strength for governing the city? And what do you feel like is your biggest weakness?
Well, my greatest strength would definitely be my experiences, plus my exposure, and that really equals your expertise. I mean, I've done a lot of things. Like I said, I've had 16 part-time or full-time jobs. I've spanned the globe: education, construction, church, health, maritime, retail, busboy, college teaching assistant, banking, public defender's office, environment, administrative hearing officer, prosecution, back to health, and then back to education, and now with the legislature. And so in order to take all those into consideration, I've really taken to heart the mantra that I have, that in order to assure public safety, because I'm the public safety chair, you must have about 8 components. And the best way to assure public safety is to make sure our residents are healthy, they're informed, they're educated, engaged in the workforce or volunteering, good money managers of their finances, residing in safe, affordable housing communities, mobile, easily able to access adequate and affordable transportation when needed, pursuing and engaging activities, as well as possibly choosing to engage themselves in spiritual activities. So it's all encompassing and not just one thing. So it's basically experiences plus exposure equals expertise. What's my weakness? Taking on an inordinate amount of issues, mainly because of the mantra that I have. So sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but this is what I signed up for, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
In the age and time now with social media, what do you find to be the best way to communicate with your constituents, and how do you plan on doing that going forward?
Well, you have to use a variety of methods. First of all, I might mail something to my constituents that I know aren't computer savvy or have no one in their household who are. Or I'll email residents. I'm now on Facebook. I have an e-newsletter as well as a website. So for those who are much more savvy, or I'll knock on doors. I'll come around and let people know what's going on. People will come by and say, I know you're in the window, so I know you're home. So they'll see me at the mailbox, in the grocery store, at the post office, anywhere they can find me, at the concert. I have a litany of things that people get me to do from there. So it's a variety of ways depending on the person and the situation.
So why do you think that you're the best candidate to win this position?
It goes back to experiences plus exposure equals expertise.
What best committees do you think would fit your talent?
Well, I'm currently on the Public Safety Committee. I'm the chair of that. Of course, I was a prosecutor in Baltimore City. I retired with 20 and a half years. I'm also on the Transportation Committee. And so that's been an area that I've never really delved into. So it's been a learning experience. And I'm also on the Audit Committee. And I was a business administration major at Morgan State University. So that's really, audit is really a cousin to finance.
So I know that you know a lot of people in the area and the city, but for people that don't know you, how would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style depends on whatever the circumstances are. And It could be confrontational, which is in the courtroom. It could be analyzation, depending on what the situation is. So it can be any number of things, or if you're working on a project, it could be a multitude of things. You have to work with the people, with the volunteers, and that's mainly who I work with. And so you have to be cognizant of their time and effort. So depending on what the situation is, what the project is, it will vary.
So it's been great getting to know a little bit about you and your background here in Mills Parole. But I would love to see a couple more locations if that's fine with you.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll be right back with you. And we're back, guys. We're at another great location, which from my viewpoint, looks like a lot of history is here. Can you tell us about this location and what it means to you?
Well, the Parole Health Center has been a parole health center for 85 years. It's been at this location since 1949. And it has a long history. Mr. Mills was very involved in providing access and health care to African Americans when there were none. It started at the church hall at Mount Olive, then moved to Cecil, and this was the final location. In fact, the original building here was built by the students at Wiley H. Bates High School. And Mr. Marchand was the person who was in charge of that. He was the teacher. So I could go on, but we won't go on and on today. We'll save that for another day, Carmicel. A lot of history here.
So, but a lot has changed from this history in this area. Can you describe the racial makeup and background of this area now?
Well, it traditionally started off as African American mainly. And so we have morphed and evolved. We now have a significant Latino population. I would say about 30%, about 55% African American, and the rest Caucasian. It's an ever-evolving community. We look at our history. The Greater Parole Community Association's mantra, which I developed, was preserving our past, protecting our present, and promoting our future.
I like that. So what are some of the specific issues that are relating to that demographic that you just described, and how would you address those issues?
Well, it's all about trust and relationship building. Oftentimes it takes time. Anytime you have new neighbors, and there's a cultural and a language barrier, but we've been so successful in having our city liaisons, our Spanish-speaking liaisons. They've been extremely helpful, and I could give you some examples, but I don't want to get personal. But they've been extremely helpful in diffusing some of the issues and the barriers and challenges we've had. But we all embrace our neighbors, because at some point, you're going to have a conversation with your neighbor, and you're going to have a relationship with your neighbor. And I have a story that I had a neighbor who evolved when we were both attending the same funeral, and I spoke. And after that, we become really good friends. So oftentimes you never know where the next blessing is coming from.
Now, flipping that question, what are some of the same specific issues relating to demographics and the makeup of the entire city, and how do you see you being an influence to help that?
Well, it's the same prescription. We're right here at the health center. It's the same prescription. It's about the relationships you make. People want to know that you care, that you trust them. We had a horrible fatality here a couple of months ago with a young man who was Latino, and it was a very heart-wrenching story. I won't get into it, but where a neighbor literally left her home without shoes, her bedridden father, and comforted the children when they really needed it, and took over the situation until the parents came. And so those are the kinds of things that happen, whether they're organic or they're done intentionally. There's always going to be a situation that you can utilize. So I would use the same prescription for the entire city.
What would you do to advance understanding in your ward and city around race, ethnicity, and sexual orientation?
Well, what I normally do, as far as I'm concerned, is I embrace all residents. If someone needs a reference for a job, if someone's interested in joining a board or commission, right now we have several vacancies. So what I do, I put it out there either on my Facebook page, e-newsletter, website, emails, just like I indicated earlier when we were at Walter S. Mills Parole. And those avenues and venues, or people will see me in the grocery store, the post office, and I'm willing to lend a helping hand to whoever, because I don't look at those barriers. Everybody has a place, no matter who you are, including diversity of thought.
All right, so we're back at another great location here with Miss Alderwoman Rhonda Pendell Charles. Can you describe where we are today and what this location means?
Well, we are in Chambers Park here, the Reverend John T. Chambers Park. And Reverend Chambers donated this land to the city in order for this park. This was in the 1970s. And later, his son, John T. Chambers, was our first and only African-American mayor for a while. So this is a proud place to be here in Chambers Park.
Nice. And it has a mural that I had the pleasure of working with.
Absolutely. And we have the Breonna Taylor mural. I'm glad you brought that up, Comacel, which has become internationally famous. Comacel was hardworking. He brought some students with him. He's given it spiritual culture and gleam to it. So we can't say enough about what our parole people have done and what our parole residents have done, and Jeff Huntington has done, because his office is actually in Ward 3.
Yep.
So we're just so very glad to have this here in our ward.
And shout out Future History Now for the great project.
Absolutely.
So we spoke about your background, a lot about the ward's history. We've even went over diversity. So I want to dig into a little bit more of the ward and city issues. What do you feel like is your top 3 political issues in the city, with one of those being in your ward, and how do you plan on fixing those?
Well, we have my mantra again that I talked about, and we won't go through that again, those 8 points. But we also have substance use disorder, and it looks different in every ward. Sometimes if we go into the public housing communities, we see that there's a struggle there with substance use disorder. But out here in my ward, we oftentimes have Caucasians who may be in a car, in a bathroom, in a fast food facility, and have had some issues here. So 2/3 of my victims, I'll call them victims, because that it takes over your body, so you're a victim, is Caucasian. So we're gonna learn to use some different strategies, looking at our business community, since we have approximately 725 in Ward 3, more than any other ward. So we're going to be using some different strategies. So that's it. The other issue is resiliency and flood mitigation. And we've got great partners in the state and the county that are helping us with that issue, especially downtown with the flooding. So those are the 3 top issues that I see in the city as well as in Ward 3. And we're all combined. I don't like to put boundaries on our wards, because one problem is everyone's problem.
So also what has been brought up is disparities in housing. How do you plan on rectifying some of those issues in your ward and in the city?
Well, it's one of the best kept secrets, and I hear it all the time. People tell us Ward 3 is the most affordable place to be. And we do have 6, and I mentioned it earlier, neighborhoods here that are very affordable. We have one that's being built right now, those 42 townhomes, Town Court, behind the Dunkin' Donuts between Monarch Academy. So that's coming online. We're going to have Parole Place on the corner of Forest Drive and Old Solomon's Island Road. We look at communities like Traditional Parole, where we are now. We look at Forest Villa. We look at Parole Heights, which is behind the Honda dealership. So we're looking at what we've already done here in Parole. We look at Hicks Avenue, we look at Parole Street. We have many communities where there's affordable housing.
Can you let the people know how you play a part in advocating for those disparities and making sure that Parole is an affordable place to be?
Number 1 is being right here and being interviewed today.
Oh. I like that, real short and sweet. And last, to close it out, what can we do to help build community racial relationships among residents in your ward?
Well, it goes back to what I said before. It's all about one-on-one relationships. It's about how the city can be involved in that relationship building. I mean, we do a lot of things that are strategic to certain groups, which is what we need. We need to take a look at the data. We need to take a look at the statistics and where the gaps are and what needs to be filled. But it all comes down to trust, relationship building, that one-on-one, seeing each other, whether it's in the grocery store or at the post office. Like I said, a smile goes a long way, a long, long way. And I gave the 2 instances, one about my neighbor and the funeral, and one about the tragedy of the young man who was killed, and how the young lady came to the children's rescue. That will be forever etched in that family's mind. And so we had the liaisons, the Hispanic liaisons that kind of surround us and do what needs to be done. And so that's what it's all about. Like I said, it's not rocket science. There's no prescription for it. Here's a great recreational facility. We talked about some there. So we have our concerts out here, and that's one huge thing about Chambers Park. About 7 years ago, we started the summer concert series, and we have upwards of 1,000 people out here some nights. We do have the largest concert series in the city of Annapolis. And the Greater Parole Community Association, like I said, has been instrumental in doing everything in this community. And I knew when I took office, I needed a strong community association. And by golly, that's what we've got here. And we're part of the hierarchy in the city of Annapolis. And I'm so proud to represent these folks here in Ward 3, all of Ward 3.
So it's been great visiting the Chambers Park Court and speaking about these diversity issues. I think we're going to take it back to Mills Parole and close it out there. I feel like it's only right that we should do that in such a historic place in Parole.
Absolutely.
All
Sounds
right.
like a plan.
Let's do it. Wow, this has been a great experience here in Parole with you. We then took a trip around the whole Ward 3, learned a lot about you, and got some clarity on your views of some of the issues. I want to just go ahead and give you your 2 minutes to pitch why we should vote for you and why your heart is in this.
Thank you, Commissar, and this has been an enjoyable experience. Number one, I want to stick with, and I have stuck with, my personal mantra as far as running for election and re-election. Respectful, responsive, and results-oriented. That's Rhonda. The other thing is, too, the mantra that I've taken on as the public safety chair for the city council is the best way to assure public safety is to make sure that our residents are healthy, they're educated or informed, engaged in our workforce or volunteering, good money managers of their finances, residing in safe, affordable housing communities, they're mobile, meaning easily able to access adequate and affordable transportation when needed, pursuing engaging activities, as well as possibly choosing to enlighten themselves spiritually. So those 8 components, we can assure that we will have public safety. Next, it comes down to experiences plus exposure, which equals expertise. And that's what I know that I have. If you review my resume or anything that I've done, that's why I'm running again. And I'm proud to say that Ward 3 is indeed Annapolis in miniature. And why do I say that? And I can give you a whole list of things that we have here. Not only do we have 9 neighborhoods and 2 on the way of affordable housing, we have 6 business districts, which include approximately 725 very diverse businesses in Ward 3. Also, Ward 3 is the headwaters of Spar Creek, and we have 1 health center, 4 educational centers, 1 professional theater, 1 recreational trail, 2 transportation hubs, 1 community park, 8 community associations, 2 grocery stores, 2 department stores, 2 postal services sites, 5 financial institutions, 9 houses of worship, 1 funeral home, and 2 cemeteries. In Ward 3, we can birth you and we can bury you. And this same template can be used when we're looking at what we can do and make our city better. Again, vote for Rhonda. Respectful, responsive, and results-oriented. Thank you. God bless you all.